Hi everyone. Let's speak again about SvelteKit and GraphQL because there is a lot happening over there, especially around yoga, where you can generate modules, as you see here, and boom, you have a fully typed application. Generate again modules and boom, fully typed application. Let's do a deep dive. All right, SvelteKit and yoga. So I have here my editor with a SvelteKit project where I prepared already few stuff. As you can recognize here, you have the source and we have roots. And in the root, I have an index where I prepared just few links to be able to navigate on few pages. First one is GraphQL and then few links on the app. In the layout, I have a client to be able to fetch some GraphQL things. We have also some server-side rendering query, and then we set the client for all the pages. We have an interesting route inside API, and PlayQL or GraphQL is the same thing, where basically I just gave a GraphQL pointing out to API/GraphQL, and we do a yoga handler with the request and the GraphQL server just created just on top. And on GraphQL, on get, I just go to home, and on a post, I do the same yoga handler, but with another yoga app. Let's jump into the yoga app. And here I have a very simple yoga app with a type def and resolver, with a hello, nothing more. So just here, if we do a yarn dev, we're able to start our server, obviously. And over there, I can go to my GraphQL. I can see the first query, exactly. So if I do the query hello, GraphQL Yoga, and SvelteKit. Now let's jump to the second part, Yoga next step, with envelope and module. So to go a bit further, we will just comment this part, and we will uncomment the part I prepared already. You will recognize the same yoga app, okay, where we give a context, we give some plugins, and we don't need any type defs because it will come from modules. In terms of plugins, today I have the modules, where it's creating an application and get all the modules together. And they are all coming from something generated, okay? And we have also a get context, getting all the context of each module also generated, as you can see with the path there. What we need to do here is to yarn gen to be able to generate everything. I go back on my editor, I can F5 and I can see the query and mutation. The default one, so with almost nothing, is just to show the behavior. So I can do a get version and I get a version, and that's it. Let's jump now to the next point, which is Prisma and generating one module with the server part and the UI part. Let's go into Prisma. We go in my schema Prisma where I have user, and I will focus on the ID and the name, okay? I will go on my folder modules, right click there and create new template. And I will create a new entity called user. This will generate me a lot of files and folder. As you can see with the refresh, user, GraphQL, so UI, type def, resolver, providers. All this is coming for free. It's generated once. You can tune everything what is in it, and this is the whole point of it. Since there is a new module, I yarn gen again, and we can see here that there is 4 type def, 2 resolver in the module user created. I come back here, and now if I go back to my main application, I have my root, which is normally created. So the page is already a bit prepared, but almost empty. As you will be able to see, a lot of things are commented. So I will just add a table of users, okay? And this is coming from my lib module user, as you can see on top here. Now we have a table, empty, no entry. Same thing for add user. We want to add the component coming from the module as well. I save, and now I have my thing coming here. So these valid components are coming from the module directly. If I now add a user, GYC, it's working. A second user, it's also working. Perfect. If I now edit the user, edit, okay, enter, it's edited, perfect. Same thing for Andrea, but I can delete. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes. All this came out for free somehow. I didn't write a single line of code, and I have a table, add user, edit user, delete user. Quite powerful. Now let's have a look on what happened on the network with server-side rendering, querying, caching. I open the dev tools here. When I refresh, I can see that I have a GraphQL request to get the list of users. Okay, so it's happening on the client side. When I add a new person, GYC2, add, I can see a new GraphQL request, create user. I can come and edit this user, GYC3. I have a new query, update user, okay. And when I delete, last query, delete user. It's in more views maybe for some people, but here I just have one query and the cache is updated alone. No need to manually refresh the list of users or anything. It's directly from the cache. But we had this initial request from the start, so there was no server-side rendering. To remove this, you just go back on the editor and in the load of the root, I will do a query of this user edge document. Okay, and I will initialize the query with it. And now when I do a F5, no more query here. And if I go on top on the user, I will be able to find the data directly, GYC edited, showing that it's coming from the server directly. If I go back home, I have two links, one server side. So server side, no GraphQL query, as you can see. If I come back, refresh, and go to user in a client-side mode, here I still have my navigation with the GraphQL. All this for free, again. No line of code, everything came for free. Quite great. Now, let's add a bit of modules. Today we added user, and now we'll add post and tags. So, same thing. I will go to the schema Prisma. I have a post and I have a tag. So now I will create in my module, user, right click, new template. We add a new entity. One is post, okay? It will generate me again a lot of folder and file. Perfect. And I will add a second one, new entity, tag. All this code you're able to see inside and edit it. This is the power of generation. You generate, but you can tune everything from it. In a later video, maybe I will show you that you can even bring back to the template this file so you can improve your templating. So now we have everything there. We need now to just generate to have all the types in GraphQL and all the context and everything coming for free. And when we come back now on the page, we have post and tag with the same philosophy. So I can create post, my first post, perfect. My second post, same ID than user, okay. I go back to home, tag, I will add one tag, the SvelteKit tag, sorry, perfect. Now if I go to GraphQL, just to have a look there, I can run the query get tags and I see my tag that I just created. If I create a tag here, as you can see here, I prepared one GraphQL, and if I get tag again, I see my two tags. Now that we added the two modules, let's add a relation modules NN. Let's add tag in some posts. Let's go in the schema Prisma and see that we have one tag in post, right? Which is the relationship between tags and post. If I select now on tag, create a new template folder, and here I add a new NN when I want to add tags in post. Same thing, it will generate me a lot of files with modules, context, everything. I close everything. I generate again to get all the types. Everything is done. 2 seconds, perfect. And now when I come back here, if I refresh to get the schema, I can get all posts and tags. So I can see now my first post that I created, and tags of posts which is coming also. It's a new resolver here. And we can see the two tags that I created just before. Now what I want to do here, I will add a tag in post, so I will just copy the 2ID here, and I will be able to run my mutation. And now if I get post again, under tags of post, I can see the result. Again, not a single line of code. Now that we added this relation, let's see a bit what I mean by fully type. Args, context, data loaders, everything. If I go in tag resolver, I can go in the query, for example, and if I go here and I do the context dot, I can see all what is possible. So I can see the user, the tag, the repost, the post, the request also, and tag in post. If I go in one of them, so here tag, for example, dot and control space, or I access the database directly with some function type prepare, or I have already here the data loader by IDs to optimize the number of query and to avoid the 1n famous problem of GraphQL, okay, which is solved here. So is the line just under? Okay, so it's the same thing here. And let's show you in database, I can create, delete, and do a raw query if absolutely needed. Okay, so it's showing you that everything is fully typed again. After the full type, we can see that we can put some things in global. For example, Prisma Logging with nice visual. So if I go back here and go back in my GraphQL editor, if I trigger a query, you will be able to see in the logs all what is going on. Find many, aggregate to get the count, and we can see even that the bottom, that one query is green, is to show that this is coming from a data loader. So it's nice to have a visual representation of what is going on in the application. Now if I create a new tag, for example, I create a GraphQL2, I will run this query, and again here, boom, I will have another way of representing the things. All this can go a lot further, of course, but it was just to scratch the beginning of what I had in mind with this generation, okay? And I have a lot of other topics to talk about. For example, the generator two-way. Here I generate the user, but from the user I can go back to the templatization. How I did the URQL, how I used the code gen, how I created UI generics. A nice thing to use is unplugin icon in Svelte, and I want to show you all the flexibility of all this. The question is, what's the next video? Please comment here to let me know what are you interested in. See you!